They say Canada is just mountains, moose, and maple syrup. But that's just the postcard version. The real Canada? It's a land that breathes. Open skies that seem to stretch beyond the horizon. Endless roads that invite you to lose the map and follow the wind. Mountains so vast they feel like ancient gods watching in silence. And cities, calm, spacious, full of light and air. Where freedom isn't just a word, it's a rhythm of life. But that openness, it's only the beginning. Because the deeper you go, the more Canada reveals. Hidden corners shaped by time, culture, and wild nature. Places where history whispers from stone and water, where adventure doesn't shout, it waits quietly, patiently, to be discovered. So today we're going on a journey, not just to see Canada, but to feel it. To wander the wilderness, explore its soul, and uncover stories you won't find in any travel brochure. Let's begin. Let's start with some surprising truths that make Canada way more fascinating than you might think. First, its name. Canada comes from the indigenous word Kanada, meaning village or settlement. And that's fitting because this land isn't just a country. It's a gathering of stories, cultures, and ancient roots that stretch deep beneath the surface. Stretching across 6 time zones, Canada is the second largest country on Earth. But what's even wilder? It has the longest coastline in the world. So vast, you could spend your entire life trying to see it all, and still not finish. And here's a fact that might blow your mind. Canada is home to over 2 million lakes. Yeah, more than every other country in the world combined. If water is life, then Canada is overflowing with it. Lakes, rivers, waterfalls, they shape everything here, from the geography to how people live. Want more? The Trans-Canada Highway stretches an epic 4,860 miles, making it one of the longest national highways on the planet. Driving across the country isn't just a road trip, it's a full-blown expedition. But perhaps the most surprising part? Despite all this space, over 80% of Canadians live within just 93 miles of the US border. 2 neighbors connected by the world's Deep in the heart of British Columbia, far from the crowded trails and tourist maps, there's a place where nature still feels raw and untamed. This is Helmcken Falls, a 463-foot cascade that thunders down into a volcanic canyon like a secret being shouted into the wilderness. Carved more than 200,000 years ago by ancient glaciers, this waterfall cuts through layers of dark rock with a kind of quiet fury. And yet most travelers miss it completely. Maybe that's what makes it feel so sacred. There are no crowds here, no noise except for the roar of falling water and the wind moving through old-growth forests. Surrounded by dense evergreens, moss-covered cliffs, and untouched wildlife, Helmcken Falls is less of a destination and more of a moment. One that reminds you just how massive, mysterious, and alive Canada's wilderness truly is. It's not just beautiful, it's humbling. While Helmcken Falls offers stillness and solitude, Niagara Falls is a spectacle of pure, unstoppable force. Every second, over 3,000 tons of water crash down from 3 mighty falls, Horseshoe, American, and Bridal Veil, straddling the border between Canada and the US. It's one of the most iconic waterfalls in the world. But behind the selfies and souvenir shops lies a story that runs far deeper. Long before tourists arrived with cameras, The Iroquois people considered this place sacred. They believed spirits lived in the mist, that the thunder of the water was alive. And in many ways, it still is.
Sure.
Formed more than 12,000 years ago by retreating glaciers, the falls are still moving today, eroding the rock at about a foot per year. A slow but steady reminder that even the strongest forces change with time. By the late 1800s, Niagara became one of the first places in the world to harness hydroelectric power. And even now, it powers cities on both sides of the border. But it's not just about power, it's about presence. Take a ride on the Maid of the Mist and feel the rumble in your chest. Walk through the tunnels carved into the bedrock and stand behind the curtain of water. And at night, when the falls glow with color, purples, blues, golds, reflected through swirling mist, it becomes something else entirely, almost unreal, like the earth is putting on a light show just for you. And if you come in winter, the scene turns magical. Icicles hanging like chandeliers, the falls partially frozen in time, a frozen cathedral of water and silence. If you think all of Canada is snow and wilderness, the Okanagan Valley will surprise you. Tucked between mountain ranges in southern British Columbia, this region feels like it belongs somewhere in California or Tuscany, not the Great White North. Sun-soaked hills, warm, dry air, and rows upon rows of vineyards rolling down to a shimmering lake. This is Canada's wine country, and yes, it's the real deal with over 200 wineries, including those crafting the famous ice wine. The Okanagan offers a slower, sweeter rhythm of life. You'll find farm stands, orchard trails, cozy tasting rooms, and sunsets that turn the lake to liquid gold. Okanagan Lake stretches for more than 80 miles, perfect for boating, paddleboarding, or just breathing it all in. It's not rugged, it's not remote, but it's every bit as breathtaking. And just a short detour from the wineries, there's a sight that feels plucked from another planet. Spotted Lake. In summer, its waters evaporate, revealing mineral-rich circles in surreal shades of green, blue, and yellow. To the indigenous Silks people, this place is sacred, a healing lake full of stories passed down through generations. In a country defined by epic landscapes, Okanagan shows a different kind of beauty, cultivated, peaceful, quietly magical. As you leave the soft edges of the Okanagan behind, the land begins to change. The trees thin, the hills stretch wide, and suddenly you're in the heart of Thompson Valley, a place where the wild feels sun-baked and still. This is Canada's semi-arid soul. Rolling golden grasslands give way to distant blue mountains. It almost feels like the American West, except quieter, more reflective. Winding through it all is the Thompson River, a silver ribbon that carves through the dry landscape, sometimes calm, sometimes fierce, always present. For thousands of years, this land has been home to the Secwepemc people, who lived in harmony with its rhythms, its winds, its wildlife, its water. Today, the valley is still alive with motion. You'll spot bighorn sheep along the cliffs, feel the dry heat under an endless sky. And in Kamloops, where the North and South Thompson rivers meet, history runs deep. Once a key outpost in the Canadian fur trade, Kamloops later became a vital stop on the Canadian Pacific Railway, the iron thread that stitched this vast country together. Now, the Trans-Canada Highway cuts through this land, rising and falling through mountain passes and open plains. Catch it at sunset and the sky explodes in color. Fiery reds and soft violets washing over the hills like a desert dream. And along the Caribou Highway, dust kicks up behind pickup trucks on gravel roads that seem to lead nowhere, and everywhere. It's a hidden piece of British Columbia, rugged, slow, and strangely cinematic. Here, time doesn't rush. It drifts like the river, carrying stories and the quiet kind of beauty you don't forget. Some mountains make you stop and stare, but the Canadian Rockies, they make you feel something deeper, as if nature pulled out all the stops and said, "This is what awe looks like." And at the heart of it all lies Banff, Canada's oldest national park, and arguably its most iconic. Imagine this: turquoise lakes so still they reflect the sky like glass, snow-capped peaks towering in every direction, and forests so dense they seem to hum with life. This is a place where the wild feels orchestrated, not chaotic but symphonic. From the moment you lay eyes on Lake Louise or Moraine Lake, you know you're in a world-class masterpiece. Back in 1885, Banff was created not just to protect the land, but to invite people in, to show the world that something this beautiful should be shared. The Banff Springs Hotel, perched like a stone castle among the peaks, has welcomed travelers for generations. But before tourists arrived, this land held deep meaning for the indigenous peoples. Places like Lake Minnewanka, Water of the Spirits, were sacred long before the brochures and bus tours. Up on Sulphur Mountain, a ride on the Banff Gondola offers more than just a view. It gives you perspective, layer upon layer of mountains fading into the horizon, each ridge telling a story millions of years old, carved in sedimentary rock that once sat at the bottom of an ancient sea. And in the valleys, life moves quietly. Grizzlies wander the meadows, elk graze along misty trails, bighorn sheep scale the cliffs like old souls who've been here forever. Then there's the town of Banff itself, charming, cozy, nestled in nature like it's always belonged. Coffee shops, art galleries, and warm mountain lodges offer comfort without taming the wild around it. In Banff, it's not just about what you see, it's what you feel. That rare mix of grandeur and grace, of wilderness and welcome. A place that doesn't just show you the Rockies, it lets you live them. If Banff is the elegant front porch of the Rockies, Jasper is the untamed backcountry. Wilder, quieter, vast beyond words. This is the largest national park in the Canadian Rockies, a raw cathedral of stone, ice, and sky. Up here, everything feels a little more remote, a little more ancient. One of the park's most powerful sights is the Athabasca Glacier, part of the sprawling Columbia icefield, one of the largest ice fields in North America. But it's melting. Year by year, it shrinks back, reminding us that even glaciers, seemingly eternal, are not immune to time. You can walk on it, touch it, hear it crack beneath your feet, and realize you're standing on a frozen river that's been flowing for thousands of years. But Jasper's magic isn't just in the ice. It's in the water that flows from it, like the fierce Athabasca Falls, where glacier-fed torrents carve their way through ancient rock. Then there's Maligne Lake, still, glassy, endless. Only accessible by boat, it leads you to a place that looks like it belongs in a dream, Spirit Island, a tiny pine-draped piece of land framed by towering peaks, one of the most photographed and most spiritual spots in the Rockies. And when night falls, Jasper transforms again. Designated as a dark sky preserve, the park offers one of the clearest night skies on Earth. No light pollution, no city noise, just stars. More than you've ever seen. They spill across the heavens in rivers of light, and if you're lucky, you might even catch the northern lights dancing between the peaks. In Jasper, time stretches, the silence grows deep, and you realize you're not just in nature, you're part of it. Tucked into the western slopes of the Canadian Rockies, just beyond the tourist trails, there's a place that whispers instead of shouts. This is Yoho National Park. The name comes from a Cree word, Yoho, an expression of awe and wonder. And once you're here, you understand why. Towering cliffs, roaring waterfalls, alpine lakes so still they seem untouched by time. But unlike Banff or Jasper, Yoho doesn't seek attention. It offers solitude, the kind that gets under your skin in the best possible way. One of its crown jewels is Niagara Falls, one of the tallest waterfalls in all of Canada, crashing down nearly 1,200 feet in a thunderous white ribbon. Stand at its base, and the spray on your face reminds you, this is power, pure and ancient. Then there's the natural bridge, carved over millennia by the wild Kicking Horse River, a force of water slicing its own path through stone. But Yoho isn't just about landscapes, it's about time itself. High in the cliffs, hidden in rock layers older than dinosaurs, lies the Burgess Shale, a fossil bed dating back over 500 million years. Here, scientists have uncovered the earliest forms of life, perfectly preserved. Tiny creatures, frozen in stone, whispering the origins of our planet. If you're craving peace, Lake O'Hara delivers it like no other place. With strict visitor limits and winding trails through untouched alpine meadows, it's one of the last truly protected corners of the Rockies. Hike in silence, breathe in pine and glacier wind, and listen, not for noise, but for stillness. In Yoho, it's not about checking off sights. It's about feeling small in the best possible way, and realizing that sometimes the most powerful places are the quietest ones. Just a short drive south of Banff, there's a place few tourists know by name, but once you've been, you never forget it. Welcome to Kananaskis country. Locals call it K-country, but don't let the nickname fool you. This isn't some laid-back getaway. This is raw Canada. Jagged peaks pierce the sky, valleys sink into silence, and alpine lakes reflect the clouds like mirrors torn from the sky. It's wilder here, less polished, less crowded, and somehow even more breathtaking. No big resorts, no souvenir shops, just winding trails, hidden campgrounds, and that feeling that you've stepped into a secret that nature's been keeping for herself. This is where you hike without cell service, where a grizzly might cross your path or disappear silently into the trees, where every turn on the trail feels like something sacred, undiscovered. In Peter Lougheed Provincial Park, you'll find dense pine forests, wildflower meadows, and glassy lakes like Upper Kananaskis, perfect for canoeing beneath glacier-fed peaks. And when the weather shifts, as it often does, the landscape turns moody and dramatic. Storm clouds swirl over mountains, fog moves in like a whisper. But even on the grayest days, Kananaskis doesn't lose its magic, it deepens. Because this place isn't about posing for postcards, it's about getting lost in the best way. Here, solitude isn't an escape, it's the reward. On the eastern edge of Ontario, where the forests grow thick and the lakes sleep quietly between the hills, there's a place that transforms with the seasons. This is Algonquin Provincial Park, and in fall it becomes something unreal. The air turns crisp, the wind carries the scent of pine and distant campfires. And suddenly the trees ignite, not with flames, but with color. Crimson, amber, gold. Entire hillsides light up like they've been dipped in fire. And reflected in the glassy lakes below, it feels like the whole world is ablaze. This isn't just another leaf-peeping spot. This is the autumn you dream about. The kind that only lives in paintings, until you see it with your own eyes. But Algonquin is more than just a pretty face. With over 2,400 lakes and hundreds of miles of hiking and canoe trails, it's a wilderness playground that's as rich in wildlife as it is in beauty. You might paddle past a moose grazing at the shoreline, or wake to the eerie call of a loon echoing through the fog. And yet, for all its size and splendor, the park remains profoundly personal. Whether you're here for the foliage, the fishing, or just the silence, Algonquin meets you where you are. It's a place that doesn't just show you autumn, it wraps you in it. One leaf, one breeze, one breath at a time. At the edge of Canada's northwest, just below Alaska, lies a place so vast, so untamed, it feels like the final frontier. This is Yukon, where wilderness isn't something you visit, it's something you surrender to. Here, the forests stretch for hundreds of miles without a road in sight. Mountains rise like giants from the land, and glaciers carve silent paths through valleys that haven't changed in centuries. It's wild, it's remote, and it's absolutely mesmerizing. In summer, the midnight sun hovers on the horizon, refusing to set. You can hike at 2 a.m., canoe under golden skies that never go dark. Time bends here, days stretch, nights vanish, and nature decides the rhythm. Then in winter, Yukon flips the script. The sky becomes a canvas for the northern lights, waves of green and violet that dance through the silence like whispers from another world. But this land also carries history, heavy and glittering. In the late 1800s, tens of thousands flooded into Yukon chasing gold. They braved frozen rivers, brutal winters, and mountains of mud during the Klondike Gold Rush. Most never struck it rich, but many found something deeper: freedom, solitude, and a raw connection to the land that couldn't be bought. Today, you can still paddle down the legendary Yukon River, retracing the route of prospectors and dreamers. You can hike through the jagged beauty of Tombstone Territorial Park, where the landscapes look like something out of a fantasy novel, or stand in awe beneath the towering glaciers of Kluane National Park, home to Canada's highest peak. The Yukon isn't for everyone. It's not built for comfort or convenience. But if you're looking for space to breathe, to think, to disappear for a while, it doesn't get more real than this. Most highways take you somewhere. The Dempster Highway takes you away. Away from cities, away from comfort, away from anything that feels familiar. Stretching nearly 450 miles from the Yukon into the Northwest Territories, it's one of the most remote road trips on Earth. A ribbon of gravel and dirt cutting across Arctic tundra, mountain ranges, and wild river valleys. Built in the 1970s, the Dempster isn't just a road, it's a lifeline. In summer, it connects isolated communities scattered across the north. In winter, it transforms into an ice highway, frozen solid and crucial for survival. Driving here is less like a trip and more like a test. One moment, you're weaving through rolling hills. The next, you're staring out across endless tundra where the land and sky seem to merge. There are no billboards, no pit stops, just silence, wind, and the hum of your tires on gravel. But the reward? Unfiltered, untouched beauty. Caribou herds crossing the horizon, rivers glinting like silver threads in the low Arctic sun. And if you're lucky, the Aurora Borealis blazing overhead as you drive into a night that never feels entirely dark. The Dempster Highway isn't for the casual traveler. It's for those willing to embrace the unknown, To risk the cold, the solitude, the sheer remoteness, all for a glimpse of the true north, raw and unbroken. Out here, the journey is the destination. Travel far enough north, and the world begins to feel otherworldly. That's Baffin Island, a place so remote, so fierce, it feels less like Earth and more like another planet. Here stands Thor Peak, a sheer granite wall rising more than 4,000 feet straight up. The tallest vertical drop in the world. For climbers, it's the ultimate challenge. For everyone else, it's simply staggering. Looking up, you feel small. Looking down, if you dare, you feel the weight of the Earth itself. Surrounding Thor Peak is Algonquin National Park, a land whose name means the land that never melts. And it's true. This is a realm of glaciers, frozen rivers, and peaks that cut into the sky like blades of stone. A place shaped by ice and time, where silence is broken only by wind and the crack of shifting glaciers. For centuries, the Inuit have called this place home. They've carved life out of the harshest conditions on Earth, guided by ancestral knowledge of the land and sea. Every ridge, every fjord carries stories of survival, of respect, of balance with nature. To come here isn't just to see landscapes, it's to enter a world where nature still has the final word, where the human spirit is tested and the Earth reveals just how powerful and unforgiving it can be. Baffin Island isn't about comfort, it's about awe. And standing in the shadow of Thor Peak, you understand why this land is both feared and revered. On the rugged coast of Nova Scotia, there's a village where time seems to slow down, as if the ocean itself sets the rhythm of life. This is Peggy's Cove, a cluster of weathered fishing shacks and brightly painted boats bobbing gently in the harbor. Granite rocks, carved smooth by glaciers millions of years ago, stretch out toward the Atlantic, gray, vast, eternal. And rising above it all is the Peggy's Point Lighthouse, white, simple, unshakable. Standing since 1915, guiding sailors through waters that can turn treacherous in an instant. It isn't just a beacon for ships, it's a symbol of resilience. A reminder that beauty can be both delicate and strong, fragile and enduring. Here, life is tied to the sea, the crash of waves against stone, the salty air clinging to your skin, the constant rhythm of tides shaping every day. For travelers, Peggy's Cove is one of the most photographed places in Canada, but for those who linger, it's more than a postcard. It's a feeling, quiet, humble, deeply human. Stand on those granite rocks at sunset, watch the lighthouse catch the last light of day, and you'll understand. This little village carries the heartbeat of the Atlantic. On the windswept tip of Newfoundland, there's a place where history collides with legend. This is L'Anse aux Meadows, the only confirmed Viking settlement in all of North America. Over 1,000 years ago, long before Columbus ever set sail, Norse explorers pushed their ships west from Greenland and landed here. Imagine it, wooden longboats gliding into a rugged coastline, sails whipping in the Atlantic wind, warriors and settlers stepping onto an unknown shore. What they built was simple but revolutionary. Sod houses, blacksmith workshops, and traces of life that proved the Vikings had reached farther than anyone thought possible. Discovered in the 1960s, this site cracked open our understanding of history, showing us that European footsteps touched the New World centuries earlier than we believed. Walking among the reconstructed houses today, the air feels heavy with story. The grass ripples in the same wind that battered Viking sails. The coastline looks as raw and untamed as it did a millennium ago. And as you stand there staring out at the endless Atlantic, you realize how extraordinary it was. Not just the journey, but the courage to even try. Meadows isn't just a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's proof that adventure, curiosity, and the hunger for discovery are older than the maps we trust today. On the rugged coast of Newfoundland, there's a landscape that feels ancient, so ancient, it seems to whisper the story of the planet itself. This is Morne National Park, a place where geology takes center stage. Carved by ice over thousands of years, Morne is a dramatic land of towering cliffs, fjords, and alpine plateaus. Standing here, you might think you're in Norway, but no, this is still Canada. A Canada that feels raw, weathered, and deeply mysterious. The fjords stretch inland like silent cathedrals of stone, carved by glaciers that have long since vanished. The air is heavy with salt, the wind sharp off the Atlantic, and the sense of scale overwhelming. But Morne holds something even rarer. Beneath its rugged beauty lies a geological marvel, the Earth's mantle pushed to the surface. Normally this layer lies far below our feet, hidden deep inside the planet. But here it's exposed, one of the few places on Earth where you can literally walk on rock from the planet's inner layers. It's why Morne is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It isn't just beautiful, it's a window into Earth's earliest history, written in stone. The name Morne means big mountain in French, and when you stand before its cliffs, that translation feels almost too small. This isn't just a mountain, it's a monument to time, to resilience, to the forces that built our world. Here you don't just see nature, you see the Earth laid bare. Drive east into Alberta and the land suddenly shifts. The rolling prairies fall away, and in their place rises a landscape that feels otherworldly. Canadian, welcome to the Canadian Badlands. Here, strange rock formations called hoodoos tower like ancient sentinels, thin pillars of stone sculpted by centuries of wind and rain. They look almost alive, as if frozen mid-step in some silent march across the desert. The earth itself is painted in layers of red, gold, and gray, like a history book cracked wide open. Every ridge, every canyon wall tells a story written millions of years ago. And hidden in these layers is one of the richest treasure troves of all, dinosaur fossils. The Badlands are a paleontologist's dream, home to skeletons that once belonged to massive creatures roaming here 75 million years ago. Tyrannosaurs, triceratops, entire worlds lost to time, waiting beneath the dust. Today, the Royal Tyrrell Museum nearby displays thousands of these fossils. But walking through the Badlands themselves is different. Here you don't just see bones, you feel the weight of time pressing down, the echo of giant footsteps on a land that hasn't forgotten. It's haunting, it's surreal, and it's a reminder that the ground beneath us has lived many lives, long before ours ever began. In the Canadian Badlands, you're not just visiting a landscape, you're walking through prehistory. Some drives take you from point A to point B, but the Sea to Sky Highway, it takes you somewhere deeper. Winding north from Vancouver along British Columbia's dramatic coast, this route isn't just scenic, it's cinematic. Ocean to your left, mountains to your right, and every curve, every rise in the road feels like the turning of a page. It begins in the quiet harbor of Horseshoe Bay, where ferries glide out to sea and the Pacific stretches beyond the horizon. Then, the road climbs into forests, up cliffs, past waterfalls, blurring the line between sea and sky. This isn't a drive you rush, it's one you feel. Windows down, hair tangled in salt air, eyes wide. Each bend reveals a new moment. A glacier flashing between trees, a river carving its way through the valley below, a bald eagle soaring just above the ridge. And all around you, silence and scale, that beautiful mix of isolation and awe that reminds you how small and how alive you really are. Locals take this road to commute. Travelers take it to breathe. Because out here, it's not about where you're going. It's about the freedom of the ride and the wild, endless beauty that unfolds with every mile. Along the winding sea-to-sky highway, tucked between rugged peaks and forested slopes, there are moments of pause, places where nature slows you down without asking. Two of those moments are Shannon Falls and Brandywine Falls. Just outside the town of Squamish, Shannon Falls tumbles down over 1,000 feet of smooth granite, fed by the meltwater of nearby mountains. The sound is soft but constant, a shimmering curtain of water weaving through old-growth forest. Breathe in the cool mist, let your shoulders drop. This isn't a spectacle, it's a sigh, a moment of stillness between adventures. Further up the road, near Whistler, you'll find Brandywine Falls, smaller in height, but just as striking. Here, water crashes 230 feet into a basalt canyon formed by ancient volcanic flows. The contrast is stunning: green forest, black rock, white water. You stand at the overlook, and for a second, the roar of the falls drowns out everything else. Both falls are easy to reach, but what they give you is rare: a reset. A gentle reminder that the journey isn't just about the peaks, it's about the places where you stop, look, and let nature do the talking. These aren't just waterfalls, they're quiet companions on the road north. Most people know Whistler as a winter wonderland. Snow-covered slopes, Olympic dreams, and some of the best skiing in the world. But come summer, the snow melts, and something incredible is revealed. The mountains don't rest, they transform. The towering peaks of Whistler and Blackcomb turn into playgrounds for hikers, bikers, and those chasing that wild feeling of freedom. The trails open, the wildflowers bloom, and adventure takes a new form. You can ride a gondola from one mountaintop to the next, walk along alpine ridges, and look out across a sea of granite, glacier, and sky. And just beyond the resort lies something even wilder: Garibaldi Provincial Park. Named after an ancient volcano, this vast protected area is where backcountry dreams come alive. In late summer, the alpine meadows are painted with color: lupines, fireweed, and mountain heather swaying in the breeze. Lakes like Panorama Ridge and Black Tusk offer breathtaking views. Jagged peaks mirrored in turquoise waters so clear, they barely seem real. Out here, the silence feels earned. The air smells like pine and snowmelt, and every step on the trail reminds you, you're not just seeing the landscape, you're inside it. Whistler may draw crowds in winter, but in the warmth of summer, it reveals its soul. And in Garibaldi, the mountain speaks softly, but with depth. Because true adventure doesn't end with the snow. It begins where the trail keeps going. Not far from Whistler, hidden deep within British Columbia's wilderness, there's a trail that leads into something that feels enchanted. It's called Joffre Lakes. And it's not just beautiful, it's unreal. As you hike higher, the forest opens to reveal a series of 3 glacial-fed lakes, each one more stunning than the last. And the color? A shade of turquoise so pure, so electric, it feels like it couldn't possibly be natural. But it is. That vibrant blue comes from tiny rock particles called glacial silt, suspended in the water, scattering sunlight like magic. Surrounded by towering peaks and dense evergreens, the trail weaves past waterfalls, boulder fields, and alpine silence. Then, at the very top, you meet the source, the massive Niagara Glacier, resting like a frozen giant on the mountainside. Its meltwater feeds the lakes, turning stone into color and cold into wonder. Stand still long enough, and you'll hear the subtle creak of distant ice, the breeze sweeping across the lake, the rhythm of a landscape shaped by time and pressure, yet impossibly delicate. Joffre Lakes isn't just a hike, it's a journey into the wild heart of British Columbia, a place where glaciers carve beauty and the water remembers every era that passed through. Come here, and you won't just see something beautiful. You'll feel like you've stepped into another world. Some cities stand apart from nature. Vancouver lives inside it. Nestled between the Pacific Ocean and the towering coast mountains, this is a place where wild and urban share the same space and the same soul. One moment, you're sipping espresso in a sleek downtown cafe. The next, you're hiking through a mossy rainforest, just minutes away. Stanley Park is the city's green heart, a sprawling forest bordered by seawall and skyline. Locals cycle the perimeter, jog under towering cedars, or pause to watch the waves break gently against the rocks. It's not an escape from city life. It is city life. Everywhere you go, nature feels close. The salty air drifts through open windows. Snow-dusted mountains linger just beyond the buildings, and sunsets over English Bay paint the glass towers gold. But Vancouver isn't just about scenery. It's about energy, global, youthful, quietly bold. Food from every continent, voices in every language, creativity on every corner. It's where coastal calm meets cultural fire, where you can ski in the morning, paddleboard at lunch, and catch live music downtown by night. Vancouver doesn't ask you to choose between modern life and natural beauty. It offers you both, effortlessly intertwined. This isn't just a city with a view, it's a city with a pulse, rooted in the earth, but always reaching for more. If Vancouver is where nature breathes through the city, Toronto is where the world comes to build, create, and dream. It's Canada's largest city, a bold mosaic of cultures, languages, and neighborhoods that feel like mini worlds stitched together by ambition. Walk through Kensington Market and you'll hear reggae spilling from a vintage shop, smell spices from West Africa, and pass murals that shout stories in every color. In the Distillery District, cobblestone streets once made for factories now echo with laughter from cafes, art galleries, and indie theaters. This city doesn't just welcome diversity, it thrives on it. Over half the population was born outside of Canada. And yet, somehow, everyone belongs. At the Skyline Center rises the CN Tower, once the tallest freestanding structure in the world. It doesn't just pierce the sky, it reflects what Toronto is all about. Reaching higher, building boldly, aiming big. From world-class universities to tech startups, from underground music scenes to massive international film festivals, Toronto pulses with creativity and drive. And it's not just about innovation, it's about connection. People here don't just coexist. They collaborate, cross cultures, and share space with a quiet, determined confidence. Toronto may not shout, but it moves, it builds, and it invites you to become part of something bigger. Some places wear their history like a costume, but Montreal and Quebec City, they live it, they breathe it, and they make it feel alive. In Montreal, every street is a conversation between old and new. Stroll through Old Montreal, and you'll hear horses clip-clopping over cobblestones, cafes humming with life, and centuries-old buildings standing shoulder to shoulder with avant-garde art galleries and bold street murals. This city is a collision of cultures, French and English, tradition and rebellion. It's the kind of place where you can attend a symphony in a 200-year-old cathedral, then grab world-class poutine at 2 a.m. from a corner joint packed with students and jazz musicians. And just a few hours northeast, Quebec City rises like something out of a fairy tale. Stone walls wrap around the old town. Lantern-lit alleys lead to quiet plazas, and at the top of it all stands the majestic Chateau Frontenac, keeping watch over the mighty St. Lawrence River. Here time slows, not out of nostalgia but out of respect, for the cobblestones that have felt generations of footsteps, for the language that has endured, for the culture that pulses gently through every shop, every street musician, every bakery window filled with warm croissants. Quebec is North America's oldest walled city, but it doesn't feel old. It feels timeless. Together, Montreal and Quebec City don't just show you history. They invite you into it, with charm, with flavor, with stories whispered from stone. From the thunder of Niagara Falls to the frozen stillness of the Yukon. From the pastel sunsets along the sea-to-sky highway to the ancient stones of Lanceau Meadows, Canada doesn't just impress you, it lingers. It stays in the rhythm of your breath after a hike in the Rockies, in the taste of maple, the silence of alpine lakes, the warmth of a city built by 1,000 cultures and voices. It's in the mist on your face at Shannon Falls, in the glow of northern lights seen from the back of a pickup, in the hush of a forest trail where your footsteps feel like the only sound left in the world. Canada is not just a destination, it's a feeling, one that sneaks up on you in the quiet, one that changes how you look at space, at nature, at time. So whether you're drawn by adventure, by solitude, by stories old as stone, or cities alive with light, you'll find them all here, waiting. And when you leave, you don't really leave, because some places don't let you go.